Divorced men and women of Reddit. What was the final straw? When she refused to go back to marriage counseling, because he makes me feel wicked, because I won't stop seeing the other guy. There's pretty much nothing left to say. She was 3 months pregnant, and I was 5 months out to sea. When one of my husband's many girlfriends actually came up to me, apologized and said, "He told me that you knew about me, and that you had an open marriage," I was already planning on leaving him because of the infidelities. She just made me move all that much faster. She told me she was pregnant with another man's baby. Pretty easy decision. Husband was out of town on a business trip. I had a surgery scheduled for the same time. Had the surgery and there were complications. It was supposed to be a day surgery and I should have been home that evening. Ended up in the ICU for 2 days and the hospital for 4 more. My friend called my now ex-husband and told him that I almost died and was in ICU and he needed to come home. His reply: "Well, she didn't die, so I'll be home when my business trip is over." After he got home, and I got home from the hospital, he was nice enough to leave the hotel invoice on AskReddit, a room with 2 occupants. She wanted to move back to her home country. My visa was denied, and that was that. After this thread I'm going to go home and appreciate the crappy dinner she made for my ungrateful ass. Thanks Reddit. When I talked to his girlfriend on the phone and she didn't know he was married. He tried to kill my 8-month-old kitten by throwing it through a wall in our apartment. His reason: the little asshole wouldn't stop meowing. I was working night shift. She cheated on me with 5 men that she met on Tinder and ducking Craigslist. After I downloaded the contents of her phone I found she was talking to 18 and ducking 5. So yeah. Divorced. I've related this story on Reddit before, but my ex and I had separated over her cheating. And while I was considering options she shot the family dog. She didn't take the dog out back and give it a bowl of food and put it down. She was laying in the bed, looked over at the dog, and decided it needed to be dead. So she shot it right there in the bed next to her. After that she took everything she could out of the house, but left the blood-stained mattress. When my ex started threatening me and physically assaulting me in front of my kid, he also threatened to kill me if I left, and I believed him. Fortunately, I suppose, he was also sleeping around and found the perfect woman. So then he filed for divorce on the fast track and actually gave me a pretty decent deal on the property settlement/custody agreement. Convincing our children to drink their own urine. He decided to practice urine therapy, and I was disgusted and started to prepare for divorce. But when he got the kids involved I immediately knew it was over. Finding plane tickets and hotel reservations to go meet some dude she had been chatting with online. Turns out the guy wasn't the fishing boat owning Alaskan adventurer he claimed. He turned out to be a part-time theater ticket taker for a movie theater, living in his mom's basement. He got blind drunk at his birthday party and was trying to start fights, etc. So I got him home. Had the presence of mind to hide the car keys in the dryer. He wanted to go back out, so tore the whole house apart looking for them. Threatened me with a kitchen knife when I wouldn't give up their location. So yeah. Marriage. Good times. Lol. I was going to get yelled at no matter what I did. Did the laundry. Get yelled at for not folding the towels correctly. Let her do the laundry. Get yelled at for not doing the laundry. The final straw was I was sent to the grocery store for French cut green beans. They had French style green beans and cut style green beans. I spent more time than I care to admit scrutinizing the green bean aisle. I finally realized that green beans are 40 cents, and I'm not taking an ass chewing over 40 cents. I bought both. She threw my laptop on the floor, which caused the screen to break. I took the laptop into the bedroom to inspect it. I brought it back out to show it to her. She accused me of breaking the screen. Wasn't the first thing of mine she broke, nor the first time she made a ridiculous accusation. He married someone else while he was married to me. Final straw. She decided she loved her girlfriend, who was also married, more than she loved me and our new baby. She left for the girlfriend, who subsequently left her husband and kids too. Both families ended up divorced. Both women lost the kids. They broke up a few months later. Schadenfreude. When she gave me the divorce papers, I was done after that. My mother-in-law left her husband after he bought her a compost bin for her birthday. The compost bin was the last of a series of reminders that my Mill and Phil had very different values in life. They are still good friends and get together on Christmas etc. She didn't want to be married or a mom anymore. She also wanted to see other people. I showed her the door and she ran like a bat out of hell. Left me and the kids. All I had to do to get custody was keep paying her cell phone bill and car payment. This was pretty much all she cared about. Too damn bad that was not part of the divorce agreement. I stopped paying the day after the divorce was final. She filed for divorce and then fled to another state. Reading through thread. I love my level-headed, well-adjusted wife and on toxic supportive partnership of marriage. For about 3 months already he would only be home for 10 minutes after I got home from work. Just long enough to say hi to me and our infant son before taking off to party with friends until God knows when. The final straw when he thought it was acceptable to disappear for the entire weekend and get mad at me when I went looking for him. He had a seizure disorder and schizophrenia, so when he went missing in the past, happened multiple times. I had to go looking for him to ensure he was safe. Oh, but F me for worrying. Good riddance. I gotta get off this thread. When she set me on fire. Physical and emotional abuse. Loss of consortium. And finally the painful punch to the gut when you finally need your spouse for the first time in a decade. And find out she's not there for you at all. In any context. He got syphilis from a prostitute while I was working in the Arctic. When he told me that we were too young when we met, 21, and that he never got to live a bachelor lifestyle. He wanted to take a break so that he could date around and get it out of his system, then we would get back together. This happened about a month after we got married. Lived together 9 years. Married for 6 months. Marriage only lasted so long because he realized that he wasn't attracting the dime pieces he thought he would, and dragged his feet signing paperwork. I decided to go to college and get my degree. He refused to get a job to help. Fine. But at least keep the house up. No. Turns out I was expected to work 8 hours. Then go to school for 8 more. Then come home and cook. Clean. Do his laundry. Run him around town. And give him sexy time. I realized at that moment he didn't really give a damn about me the way a husband should. She spent a week away with some guy from work. And it was something I should have questioned more if I genuinely loved her. When she returned, she basically said that she was in love with this guy and that she would move to the spare room. It was perfectly amicable. We'd just exceeded our shelf life, so to speak. We both met someone else and never looked back. Holy crap, I'm thankful for my wife. And now I know what to work on myself. Edit. Gold. Now go text your spouse and tell them how thankful you are. Edit 2. If you read this, I love you babe. Edit 3. This blew up. And my gilding cherry got popped and then ravaged a second time. No motivational speech here. Go spend time with your loved ones. Our best couple friends hired him to redo their wood floors. He strung the job out 3 weeks with no progress until they caught him watching porn on their big screen. In the fallout he lost his day job for watching porn there. The final straw for me was during an argument one night over something insignificant. My wife looked at me and said our relationship works because I lie to you. I was livid. I stood there, my jaw wide open. After I regained my composure I asked her what she said. She repeated it, and at that moment after 4 years I knew there was no hope for it. Our relationship was dead. Now she is trying to come back and tell me she loves me and how things will be better if I just give her a chance. I told her it's never going to happen, I will not change my mind, and will never take her back. My husband and I were separated. I kept going back and forth thinking we could work out our issues. When we had sex he would always put a condom on. He initiated sex. I realized he didn't put one on, and he wouldn't stop. After I asked him to, he finished and I was crying my eyes out. He kept talking about how our baby was now going to keep our family together. Thank God for Plan B. I lost all love and respect I ever had for him that day. My wife and I both had very difficult upbringings. I suffered a lot of physical abuse and she suffered a lot of emotional abuse. What split us was the fact that I wanted to move on and she didn't. We were together throughout our 20s. I addressed my issues, but she never did. Her past resulted in unchecked depression, mistrust, and low self-esteem. We loved each other very much, but our life together was very difficult. One day during one of our many fights, I punched a hole in the wall, and it scared the duck out of me. I wouldn't ever hit her. But I also couldn't ignore that I couldn't move on to who I wanted to be if I was with her. My mum and dad's marriage finally ended when he burned the pancakes on Pancake Day. He left the next day. Mine ended over a three-way we had. Me, her, and her work laptop. Every damn night. In bed. When she came home high on coke and attacked me in front of our toddler, I was scared to call the cops because I'm American, and if cops get called to a domestic violence situation 9 times out of 10 the man gets arrested regardless of situation. But then she got body slammed by the police for trying to fight them, and it was worth the risk just for that. Just bought a new house. I wanted the new driveway one way. She wanted it another. 1 hour later she threw her ring at me. It was my birthday 2016. Today is my birthday. 1 year later, and I realized, although I made some mistakes, she is an insufferable professional victim. The best thing I did was leave everything I had for my freedom and happiness. Duck you, Amy.